Haskell, bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Vous êtes à la librairie Dialogue ce soir pour nous parler de votre livre « Je ne suis pas Jackson Pollock ». Nous avons le plaisir de vous recevoir grâce au Festival des Belles Étrangères qui a organisé cette rencontre. Alors, votre livre « Je ne suis pas Jackson Pollock », quand on le lit, on a l'impression parfois de se balader finalement un peu dans des décors cinématographiques. Est-ce pour montrer au lecteur, pour faire rentrer le lecteur dans votre univers que vous avez écrit ce livre ?
I'm not thinking about the reader. If I understand your question, it's for me to get into the world of whatever I want to talk about. Usually the movies are something that I saw one time maybe and I remembered them, and like acid or something, it ate its way into my brain and then it began to work there, and so it's for me. And then it triggers my imagination. So it's for me to get into the world of my imagination that I use the cinema. I'm not thinking about the reader, although I think it might be a door for a reader to open if they know the movie. But if they don't, it doesn't matter, I think. It's more for me.
Comment faites-vous alors justement pour entrer en ces personnages, pour imaginer la vie de ces personnages qui sont tous tellement différents, même des animaux, des éléphants? Comment faites-vous pour imaginer ce qui se passe dans leur tête?
How? That's the art. That's my secret. I can't tell you. It's the same thing. Maybe an example, or a few. Obviously, that you mentioned the dog that went to outer space. I mean, I knew about that story for years and years, and I thought, this dog that was sent there, this dog all alone in outer space, I think about it for years maybe, and then I think, well, what was going on in the dog? And often in my stories, I juxtapose a story of the dog with a story of someone else or another person, a film, and I begin to pull up, oh, there's the dog, and maybe I say, oh, there's the elephant. No, that doesn't work. There's the film, some film by Orson Welles. I go, oh, yeah, they fit together. There's something that is similar in them that I want to use. So all these things are sort of in the back of my mind, and when I begin to write, I reach back and I kind of pull one in and find one else, or maybe something new happens too. Yeah. I was going to say, just I remember one time I was just a little child. I was playing outside, playing baseball or something, and I ran into the house, and there was a movie on, and I just sat down there, and it was Sunset Boulevard by Billy Wilder. And I was little, I didn't even understand, but I watched it, I was fascinated by it. And so years, in my next book, I wrote about that movie, but it took, 20 or 30 years just of the movie sitting there with, like, as if on a very slow, low burner, cooking.
Quelle est selon vous l'unicité, le lien entre toutes ces histoires?
In the whole book? Because in each story they're linked by theme, by meaning, by associations. In the whole book, to me, I did think of the link, but I always thought of, at some point, after I'd already written about half of them, I thought of, in Greece they have the gods of Greece, Zeus and Athena and, help me out here, another god, all the gods. And in Rome and in the Scandinavian, they had the pantheon of gods. And so I thought, every person in a way has their own personal pantheon of heroes, either good or bad, good or evil, interesting. Like Laika, the dog, say, is not a hero, but just sort of a myth. It's part of my mythology, and that's what maybe links them together. Not so much thematically that I can say. There maybe is a theme throughout, but I just wrote them, so I just made my mythology public.
L'un des sujets qui revient pourtant assez fréquemment, c'est la communication, les besoins de communication et les problèmes de communication, justement l'impossibilité de communication qui peut tourner au tragique. Est-ce justement dans ce souci que vous-même vous écrivez?
That's interesting that you say that. I don't think, I wonder, I wish I could talk to Forrest about this. I don't think every writer writes to communicate. I think some people just like, I have something to say and I have to say it. And to an extent, you know, maybe I have something to say that I want to say. But also it's important for me to communicate. And in the beginning of the stories, I am not Jackson Pollock, je ne suis pas Jackson Pollock, they began as performances. And I enjoyed that part of the writing because they were written for the performance. Because when I was performing them, I could see the people, and I could see people either understand or not understand or laugh or, you know, cry, not cry, but, you know, I could see the responses. And it was important for me. I'm from a theater background, and so that response of people is it's nice. You don't get that as a writer only because, you know, you write a book, you give it, and you don't know what people think except reviewers. So, well, a long way to answer your question, but the communication is important for me, yeah.
Merci beaucoup, John Haskell.
Merci.